Why are we instinctively afraid of darkness? What does darkness actually represent beyond just a lack of light? Could darkness be necessary for growth? Is there beauty in darkness we've been taught to ignore? Darkness has always been more than absence of light. It's mystery, potential, and sometimes even divine wisdom. Darkness isn't bad. It's unacknowledged. It's the parts of us we hide, not because they're evil, but because they make us feel vulnerable. In this video, we dive into the mystery of darkness, what it truly is, why it shapes our emotions, and how it continues to fascinate and terrify us to this day. Welcome to Brain Vital Channel. If you're new here, we're so glad you found us. This is your go-to spot for easy, powerful tips to grow stronger, smarter, and succeed in life. Tired of being pushed around? Want to feel unstoppable and in control? Ready to discover the game-changing secrets that can take you to the next level? Smash that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell, so you're always in the loop when we drop new videos. This isn't just fun. It's about unlocking your true power. You have a choice. Stay where you are or step up and become the best version of yourself. Now let's continue. When we hear the word darkness, what do we think of? Danger, fear, maybe even evil. But what if darkness wasn't just about being scared? What if it was trying to tell us something deeper? Across civilizations, darkness has always held meaning not just visually, but symbolically. From a young age, we're taught to link darkness with ignorance, don't be in the dark; fear, I'm afraid of the dark; evil, dark forces, dark magic, a dark past. But why is this so deeply rooted? Psychologically, we fear what we can't see. Symbolically, we associate light with knowledge, so darkness becomes a lack of clarity, a lack of safety. Socially, we push darkness onto what we don't understand, people, feelings, or experiences that feel uncomfortable. Darkness isn't something to run from. It's something to explore gently, honestly. We live in a world where we constantly seek control schedules, answers, definitions. But darkness represents uncertainty, the unknown, the uncontrollable. We're afraid of what we can't label. We avoid what we can't predict. But what if the unknown isn't the enemy? What lies beyond the veil of night? Why does darkness awaken something deep within us? Fear, curiosity, wonder? From ancient myths to modern science, darkness has always held secrets waiting to be uncovered. Sometimes, darkness holds the very thing we're missing: clarity, healing, transformation. But only if we're willing to sit with it. Maybe darkness is not a sign that something's wrong, but a signal that something deeper is about to unfold. So instead of fearing the dark, what if we listened to it? What if, just for a moment, we trusted that it has something to teach us? Have you ever wondered why we're afraid of the dark? Why, even as adults, we sometimes feel that uneasiness creeping in the moment the lights go out. You see, fear of the dark isn't something random. It didn't come from movies or bedtime stories alone. It goes far deeper, all the way back to our ancestors. Thousands of years ago, darkness meant danger. Before electricity, before cities, before locked doors. Nightfall was when the predators came out. Lions, wolves, snakes, and humans. We weren't the strongest. We weren't the fastest. But we were the most alert and the most cautious. Fear of the dark was a survival mechanism. If you ignored it, you might not see tomorrow. So the fear served a purpose. It kept our ancestors alive. Even now, in a world filled with streetlights and smartphones, that primal instinct hasn't left us completely. It lingers like a whisper in the back of our minds. How darkness has changed, but the fear remains. Today, we're not really worried about wolves in the dark, but still, why does walking into a dark room alone make your heart beat faster? Why does the mind start imagining things that aren't there? It's not just about survival anymore. Now, darkness means something else. In the modern world, darkness has taken on new faces. Loneliness, sadness, depression, anxiety. It's become symbolic. A space where we feel disconnected, where everything quiets down and we're left alone with our thoughts. And sometimes, those thoughts are the scariest thing of all. Maybe the fear of darkness is no longer about wild animals. Maybe now it's about what we haven't dealt with inside ourselves. The regrets we push down, the emotions we avoid, the questions we don't want to face. Because in the light, we can distract ourselves. But in the dark, there's nowhere to hide. Do you remember being a child, lying in bed at night? The lights were off. You stared at the ceiling. Every creak, every sound felt like something was coming for you. You maybe pulled the blanket over your head, as if that thin fabric could protect you from the unknown. But what you were really scared of was the possibility of something being there. The unknown, the unseen. And even now, for many of us, that fear hasn't vanished. It's just evolved. So maybe the question isn't, why are we afraid of the dark? Maybe the real question is, what have we buried in our darkness that we're too afraid to face? Because darkness doesn't create fear. It reveals it. And maybe, just maybe, if we sit with that darkness long enough, we might find that it's not there to hurt us, but to teach us, to guide us back to a truth we've forgotten. We all have a side we don't often show, not because it doesn't matter, but because we've been told it shouldn't. Let's talk about something we rarely sit with: our inner darkness. That part of us that feels sadness, carries anger, remembers shame, the emotions we often label as bad or negative. But here's a gentle truth. These emotions are not the enemy. They're messengers. They carry meaning. From a young age, we're taught to smile through the pain, to be strong, stay positive, and move on. While these phrases come from good intentions, they can lead us to bury parts of ourselves. Sadness is seen as weakness. Anger is seen as aggression. Shame is seen as something to hide. But these emotions are part of being human. When we avoid them, we don't erase them, we just push them deeper into ourselves. And the more we suppress them, the more they build up, waiting for a moment to surface, often in ways we don't expect, like anxiety, burnout, self-doubt, or broken relationships. Here's a different perspective. What if healing isn't about escaping the dark, but walking through it with awareness? When we sit with our sadness, we realize it often points to something meaningful: loss, love, longing. When we explore our anger, we might find a boundary that was crossed, a wound that needs care. Even shame, when gently unpacked, can show us old beliefs we no longer need to carry. By turning toward our darkness instead of away from it, we begin to understand ourselves. And understanding is the beginning of healing. Psychologist Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we hide, repress, or deny. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. This means that the parts of us we ignore don't disappear, they just work in the background, shaping our behavior, emotions, and choices. So when we react harshly, sabotage ourselves, or repeat painful patterns, it's often the shadow acting out. Bringing light to that shadow through reflection, honesty, and compassion is the path to freedom. Here's something we don't hear enough. It's okay to feel what you feel. You don't have to fix it right away. You don't have to be perfect. Your sadness is wisdom. Your anger has roots. Your shame has a story. Instead of shutting them out, invite them in, not to let them take over, but to understand them. Because the parts of us we reject are often the parts that need love the most. You are not broken because you feel deeply. You are human. And within that darkness is the doorway to your light. Darkness is often seen as something to escape from. But what if it's exactly where we're meant to be? At least for a while? Before anything grows, it waits. In silence, in stillness, in the dark. Think of a seed. Before it becomes a tree, before it reaches for the sun, it must first go underground, buried beneath the soil, wrapped in darkness. It is not dead, it is becoming. Growth often begins where no one can see it. Our most painful, confusing seasons can be the most transformative. Just like the seed, we often need to be hidden before we're ready to rise. Maybe you feel buried right now, lost, forgotten, but maybe you're not buried. Maybe you've been planted. Every sunrise is born from the night. We don't skip darkness to reach the light. We pass through it. Darkness is not the opposite of light. It's the womb of it. The cycle of day and night reflects our inner lives. Light and dark are both necessary. Healing, insight, and new beginnings often come after we've sat in the shadows. Don't curse the night. It's doing something. It's preparing the horizon. The world is loud. Constant noise, constant movement, constant pressure to always be something. But have you ever noticed that the clearest answers come to quiet? In solitude and darkness, we can finally hear our own voice. Or maybe God's. We often fear being alone because we associate darkness with isolation. But solitude isn't loneliness, it's space. A sacred space to reconnect with yourself. Darkness might not be trying to trap you. It might be trying to bring you back to yourself. The artist stares at a blank, dark canvas. The composer begins with silence. The soul begins its search. When the lights go out, in the dark we create. In the dark we seek. And often in the dark we find. Many spiritual awakenings, creative breakthroughs, and inner revelations happen in difficult times. Darkness forces us inward, and sometimes that's where the real light lives. If you're in a dark season right now, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it reveal what light could not. Maybe we've misunderstood darkness all along. Maybe it's not a punishment, but a preparation. Not a place of fear, but a place of becoming. So the next time you feel lost in the dark, remember, the deepest roots grow where no one can see. And the brightest dawn always starts in silence. Absolutely. Let's expand how to embrace the darkness with care and clarity in a diligent, humble, and deeply human way. The tone will be grounded, encouraging, and personal, helping your viewers not just understand the concept, but feel safe exploring it. How to embrace the darkness. Darkness, it's a word that makes many of us uncomfortable. We're taught to run from it, hide from it, or fix it with light. But what if darkness isn't something to be feared? What if it's something to be understood? Let's talk about how to gently and courageously embrace the darkness in your life. We live in a world that worships noise and speed, but darkness invites us to be still. Sit quietly in a room with no distractions. Don't reach for your phone. Don't try to fix your feelings. Just breathe. Let the silence speak. In the stillness, the loudest answers come. Sometimes, what we fear the most is just a part of ourselves we haven't heard in a long time. Darkness grows in silence, not because it's evil, but because it's misunderstood. Write what hurts. Write what confuses you. Don't worry about being positive or correct. Let the shadow part of you speak without censoring. What you put into words no longer controls you in silence. We all carry shadow parts of ourselves we rejected, denied, or buried. Anger, jealousy, shame, insecurity. Shadow work means bringing light to those parts without judgment. Ask yourself, what traits in others do I hate and why? Where do I feel most reactive? What do I avoid thinking about? It's hard work, but it's honest, and honest work heals. Your shadow is not your enemy. It's your wounded self asking to be seen. Face your fear instead of running. Fear thrives in avoidance, but when you face it, something shifts. It no longer controls you. What fear have you been running from? Maybe it's the fear of being alone, the fear of failing, the fear of not being enough. Facing your fear doesn't make you fearless. It makes you free. Don't aim to overcome fear in one day. Aim to befriend it. Bit by bit, darkness is where transformation begins. Seeds grow in darkness. So do we. You've made it through every dark day before this one. That means darkness hasn't broken you, it's been shaping you. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this trying to teach me? Even pain has purpose when you listen. Some lessons only bloom in the dark. What did it reveal about your strength, your values, your truth? Embracing darkness is not about becoming negative. It's about becoming whole. It's about welcoming every part of yourself, not just the shiny ones, the misunderstood parts, the hurting parts, the scared parts. They all have a voice. They all have wisdom, and they all belong. So be gentle with yourself. Sit with your shadows. And remember, darkness doesn't mean you're lost. It might just mean you're finally ready to see. Darkness isn't your enemy. It's the canvas where stars are born, the space where your truth whispers. So the next time you're surrounded by darkness, don't just reach for the light. Listen to what the dark is trying to tell you. The darkness holds more than just the absence of light. It holds secrets, questions, and possibilities. If this journey into the unknown sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss what comes next. Until then, stay curious and don't be afraid of the dark.